Ready or not, here I come. I'm gonna find you and make you want me. The Fugees. Hello, babies. Because I felt so bad for abandoning you for a week. You get a two for Sunday. Is it Sunday today? 2 for Sunday. Yeah. So there's 2 reviews this evening. You lucky devils, you. And we're reviewing Ready or Not 2. Here I come. I do apologise. That joke was in very poor taste. So we're just going to jump straight into it, because it's going to be a very short one. I don't really have much to say about this film, but there's a really fun cast for this sequel. Samara Weaving returns from the first film, and she's joined by Catherine Newton, who plays her sister, and both are quite the dynamic duo. Both are joined by a really lovely supporting cast, with the likes of Sarah Michelle Gellar, Sean Hatosy, Nesta Carbonell, Maya Jay, and the wonderfully talented Elijah Wood. It was so great seeing Elijah Wood on the big screen, and even more of a treat that he was in more of a villain, an anti-hero role. I really do love that man and all of his work. The story for this one follows our protagonist as she must once again survive against psychotic billionaires. This film pretty much sticks to the formula that was used in the first film, with a few minor tweaks and changes here and there. Probably the main change being the introduction of our protagonist's sister. And that relationship that's at the forefront of the film throughout. It hits all of the familiar and comfortable narrative beats, all of the beats that you'd expect to find from the estranged sister trope. And this film doesn't necessarily do anything new, especially with, as I just mentioned, the sister trope. But the script is written quite nicely, and there are some decent performances. It's a fun watch. The film is also super violent and bloody, even more so than the first one, I think. There's just a few really fun, really brutal fight scenes that just help to add to the film's overall appeal. And even though this film is telling a story very similar to the first film, it doesn't feel like it's copy and pasted over. There's enough differences to make this film feel like its own project. This sequel definitely has its own 2 legs to stand on, with its own emotional character moments and insane action set pieces. And then throw all that in with some pretty dark humour, and you have a pretty individual second film, pretty individual sequel. Now, this film does get a lot more right than it gets wrong, but there were still a few things that I had an issue with. Firstly, some lines of dialogue feel just downright clunky and at parts very cringe. There's one moment in particular where my eyes rolled into the back of my head so hard that I'm surprised it didn't come out the back of my head. It's where they managed to get one of the people trying to hunt them and kill them into like an industrial-sized washing machine, and before she presses the button to rinse him, she says something like take a bath or something really stupid like that, and I just felt myself just thinking, out of everything she could have said, you choose that. And then it's everyone's absolute favourite, plot armour. I fucking love plot armour. I don't know, there were just certain moments throughout the film where our 2 main characters had so much plot armour that it just sort of bordered on the silly at a certain point. You could call it in-universe luck, but I don't think any character, person, fictional or otherwise, is that lucky. Despite all that, though, I did enjoy this film, especially the ending, which was absolutely batshit. So for that, I'm going to give this 3.5 out of 5 popcorns. So there we have it, babies. There's my Ray. I thought it'd be a very quick review, but it's still almost 5 minutes, maybe 6. There's my very quick review for Ready or Not 2. Here I come. If you've seen it and you enjoyed it, let me know what you enjoyed. If you didn't really enjoy it, didn't really live up to the first one for you. Let me know what it is about the film that you didn't enjoy. And as always, if you appreciate what I'm doing here, drop me a little bit of love with a like, a comment, a little bit of a follow. Because ready or not, until the next one, here I come.